Hey guys, welcome to the Body Armor segment at Judge Family Chiropractic. It's our next cycle that we're rolling out here. We just want to cover some things here about what would decrease someone's immunity. I know that there's a lot of sick people out there with a lot of symptoms, and we want not just to cover up those symptoms, we want to get down to the root cause of problems. And for most people, they don't understand that those symptoms always have a cause. Right? So rather than, again, covering symptoms up, waiting until we're sick to take care of ourselves, we want to increase your immunity so you never have to be diagnosed with a problem. You never have to be diagnosed with the disease process. Dr. Keeley, what do you think the number one thing would cause someone's immune system to be weak?
Well, that's a tough question to answer because there's so many things that we deal with in our day-to-day lives, and the number one thing that I deal with is subluxation, and our patients know that if your spine is not in the proper position, and that's having 45 degrees through 3 different areas in your spine, also making sure that you're actually getting corrective care. So there's different forms of chiropractic care, just going in and getting adjusted. But what Dr. James and I really focus on in our office is correcting the cause. So what do we mean by that? We want to make sure that there's no interference on your nervous system, because in the long run, what that's going to do is cause more stress. And when your nervous system isn't functioning and healing the way that it's supposed to, your health is declining. And that's the only way that it can go. So when we focus on removing that interference and increasing the function, you're going to increase your healing, and then there's no way else for your health to go but up. So that's what I think is the number one thing.
Yeah, that's awesome. And a lot of people don't understand that most everyone has what we call subluxation, or misalignment in the spine, causing pressure on your nerve system. And your nerve system controls everything. It controls your immune system, it controls your digestive system, it controls your hormone production, it controls the ability for you to hear me right now. So it is the number one thing that we need to truly be healthy. And if that thing is not functioning or allowing your body to function at 100%, then we start to experience symptoms, okay? So for me, the number 2 thing that I believe is causing so much immunity weakness in America is stress, and there's this nasty thing called cortisol that is very good for you if you're being chased by a bear in a forest, or if a tiger was let loose in your room right now. It allows you to increase your heart rate, it puts the blood to the extremities so you can run away. But the Americans are stressed out way too much. We sit behind cars, and if someone cuts us off, that cortisol level is increased. And the continually increase in cortisol in your body creates a lot of damage. It creates hormone imbalance. It creates a lot of sicknesses and disease processes that are built because of that. So do you have anything to add about that?
Yeah, we do a lot of talks around our community at different businesses and different community outreach events in our community, and one of the biggest talks that we do, that we get the most feedback from, is our stress talk. And what we talk about in those events is the 3 different types of stressors that we have, which are chemical, physical, and emotional. So that covers a wide range of stresses. So that goes from anything that you're eating or putting on your body. That's for the chemical. For the physical, that's for the way that we work out, the way that we sit. We're always in these positions like this. There's actually this new diagnosis that's coming out in the medical field. It's called text neck. And that's a primary condition that Dr. James and I have been dealing with. And that just means that you lose the curve in your neck and it straightens out completely. It's putting pressure on your spinal cord, on your brainstem, your nervous system, shutting off life to the rest of the body. And then there's emotional stress, and we all know that. There's so many deadlines and projects that we have to get done, and those of you with kids, with families, making sure that we have dinner made, making sure our kids get their homework done, get them to their sports activities, but then also have a full-time job and have a relationship with your husband. And we talk about war plans, we talk about reducing the stresses, and I can't wait to share all of this information at our upcoming event. It's called Body Armor, and that's gonna just go through all of these 3 stresses that we have in our life.
The number 3 biggest thing that causes so much immunity weakness would be sugar. Many of us eat way too much sugar. I think it's over 30 pounds of sugar per year.
It's 156 pounds a year
Whoa, that's
of sugar.
crazy. Sorry,
Yeah.
For me it's probably 30 pounds. But sugar is a huge culprit, and the more sugar we eat, we know that the more bacteria, the bad bacteria, can feed on it in your gut, and it decreases your gut immunity. We have this thing called leaky gut syndrome. So that creates a lot of autoimmune responses in your body. You're going to get things like eczema, irritable bowel syndrome, colitis, Crohn's disease, ear infections, all stemming from lack of gut health. So we're going to teach you the ways to increase that gut health so your body can digest the foods that you're eating, can assimilate them into your hairs and nails and make new tissues in your heart and lungs. And it's an amazing power that we have in our body. But if those systems in our body break down, that power cannot fulfill its potential. And that's the problem. And that's what decreases immunity and increases things like heart disease and like cancer and like diabetes. So those are the exact things we'll cover at our next event.
One thing with sugar and our immune system is I always think of sugar as throwing gasoline onto a fire because it just throws everything up in the air. We know that there are 8 times the receptor sites on cancer cells than on any other cell. So anytime that you put sugar into your body, that sugar is then just like magnetized towards a cancer cell. Actually, that's how they're fueled. They grow at enormous amounts, at enormous rates when there's cancer in the body. So we need to actually start starving those cells and allow our bodies to heal. So that's one thing that we need to really focus on with this as well.
Yeah, so there is good news. The things that we're going to teach you are completely correctable. So if you're eating too much sugar, if you have too much stress, if your spine is out of alignment causing damage to your nerve system, and if you've got too many germs and toxins in your environment, we're going to teach you exactly how to correct that. And we've put a lot of effort and time and work into the body armor that's on July 27th at 6:45, the doors open. We're going to have a lot of vendors there, but more importantly, you're going to gain some information that will completely change your life and the way you view health, because a lot of people, again, we don't have the correct knowledge of what true health really is. So I can't wait to see you there. Again, it's going to be at 6:45 at Hickory Knolls Discovery Center in St. Charles. We're going to go through about an hour of information that you can apply to your life and change your world. And again, this is for you, this is for your family, and this is for your future. Thank you guys so much.